Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kenny Cummings here, chilling with Kenny C. Keeping the wrestling enthusiasm going, per se. I'm joined with a wrestler from West Virginia, and I first heard of this lady through her tag team partner, Judy Hendricks. You may have heard of that lady. Um, Kolbe Max is joining me right now. How's it going?
Hello, thank you for having me.
Appreciate you being on. And I just finished chatting with Judy moments ago. And for
Mhm.
what she told me, that you and her are complete polar opposites.
Yeah.
Complete opposites. Uh, but nonetheless, I'm happy to have you on and to chat with you about your wrestling journey and where do you go from here in this wrestling business. But before we move forward, let's go back first. As far as your wrestling journey, what got you into this professional wrestling thing? How did it start it out for you?
Well, I have two twin brothers. They are currently 25, and that we had friends in the neighborhood that were their age, all guys, and usually they would come over and watch it or play the video games or something. So, I mean, as some most people would say it, I grew up on it. I think it wasn't really till I was about 15. Yeah, I was 15. So I seriously considered it whenever I met Bailey and Finn Balor, of course, my icon. But yeah, they gave me the best day of my life, and I kind of told myself, I want to do that for someone else. I want to give somebody the best day of their life. So flash forward a little over a year later, in September 2019, no, yep, 2019, I met my head trainer Rocky Rage, and the rest is history.
So, as far as the training, how would you describe that experience? I've had chats with women wrestlers throughout the years, and they've had different stories, different takes and things like that. Like you, woman trained with the men, vice versa. What's your experience as far as going through the whole training process before doing the show in front of crowds?
Before the wrestling school that I went to was opened, I would just go before shows and train with Rocky. About sometimes there'd be one other person there, sometimes there wouldn't. And then whenever House of Rage started, it was three girls and the rest were guys. And then so on. So really, it was a male dominated class with two or three women at a time.
So how did the men feel about training with you? Was it like any uncomfortable? Was it like trying to treat like everybody the same? What was that experience?
Yeah, we were just kind of taught like it's wrestler versus wrestler. But I think another reason why I think people were kind of scared to hurt me or something is because I was only 16 when I started training, and in the sense of me being so young and like the worry about me getting hurt, which is understandable for either gender. But as I got older, we all got more comfortable with each other, and now we're breaking down doors and leaving a legacy.
Most definitely. So as far as seeing your character grow and evolve throughout, since 2019 when you got started, how do you feel about your character now, seeing that you are a couple years into your wrestling career?
I've definitely matured a lot. I'm a lot less scared and a lot less timid. I think whenever well, my first show was during it was like a tape show during the pandemic, and there was a few people in the crowd to make noise, and that even terrified me. Just like those 4 or 5 people just there to make noise. It was like I think as I've grown older and I've grown more comfortable, I like something that one of my trainers, Shane Storm, told me. It's like just focus on the people in the front 2 rows. So that's something that I always focus on.
Yeah, and just getting into that comfort zone, and things fall into place per se. Obviously, wrestling is entertainment, and the characters, it's unique, it's intriguing. Fans be invested into these characters, these personas, obviously. So once you get that intention, once you and your opponent get on the same page, it's sky's the limit. And y'all they're able to tell stories. And I love wrestling. I love it with all my heart. It's just some people look at me funny and think like it's weird, it's odd or whatever. I'm like you watch Twilight, you watch Walking Dead, like you galvanize with the storytelling, right? And that's how I feel with wrestling. Like the difference is I see wrestlers every week, and there is no cut cameraman to say cut. Like you get one shot at this, and and what happens happens. So you feel like you gotten a lot comfortable as getting some matches in, getting some airtime, microphone. You feel a lot more confident now compared to 2019.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, I didn't even really start promo work until I got closer to the time of my first match, which was 2020. And I mean, you couldn't understand a single word I was saying a majority of the time because it was just like, uh, I'm gonna kick your butt. But I mean, it's just it just comes with time, just like everything else in life. But I don't really get a microphone often. But when I do, I can tell that the more and more I go on, the better I've gotten at it, and I'm proud of myself for that, and same thing with a lot of other things.
Yeah, absolutely. And just regardless if it's a mic time or regardless if it's a match, I mean, you whatever is thrown at you, you seize the moment, you make the most of it. Everything else will eventually fall into place for sure. So you definitely made a name. You definitely getting a lot more comfortable, obviously. Now, I want to talk the tag team side of things, you and Judy. Because as I said earlier in this interview, you two, well, for what Judy told me, character wise, completely different, polar opposites. Uh, but when you have someone like Judy, who's very young in this business as well, and you got his shoulders back in the ring, in the locker room, in life, and it's definitely important to have that support, not just from fans, but from your peers in that locker room. What's it like to have someone like Judy? Um, it's not just working with her, but just evolving with her as well.
It's good to have a friend to lean on, honestly. Whenever we met in the summer of 2020, we didn't really care for each other a whole lot. I mean, but I think as we grew older, we matured, and especially I was even thinking about this the other day. Her first match was against me, and in a sense, I feel like whenever we clicked in the ring, that's kind of when we clicked in the ring. It clicked outside the ring too, in a sense. Like we started having more matches together, and then we started tagging together, and then just this crazy adventure of Chemical X just started taking off. And so now we're on OVW. We're going to Tennessee on Saturday, and hopefully we'll be at more places in the coming year.
So as far as Chemical X, what's the story behind that name? Who came up with that idea? Was it you and Judy, or was it the promotion? Tell us a little story behind Chemical X.
Honestly, we had our first tag match. Well, it was our first tag match as an official team because we had tagged before, but this was like the first time, like where we were gonna have a name. And so we were like, we just kind of came up with a bunch of names with like cartoon references, song references, and Chemical X was thrown out there, an idea given to me by my dad, and because that's what made the Powerpuff Girls. And in a sense, that's kind of since we're like the young, like superhero esque, if that's even how you want to describe it. Um, And we just kind of went with that. It was really just kind of a thrown out there kind of thing with a bunch of other ideas. It was either going to be that or Killjoy Inc. But I liked Chemical X better because I kind of wanted it to just not sound like it was just me and her as my sidekick. I want like it's the two of us. There's not just one with the other to the side.
I definitely respect that, and it worked. You two have made it work. I've noticed that not only if y'all have gone against each other, teaming up, you also have made an appearance or two in Ohio Valley Wrestling. You've made the trip there. I've asked Judy this question, and now I'll ask you this as well. From the few times you've been there, how would you describe your experience with OVW?
Refreshing, if I had to have a word to describe it. It's just nice. It's whenever I went there for the first time, I was really scared. I thought it was going to be a lot more uptight. I thought it was going to be like a more pressure and stuff, but it really just felt like another show. Like, of course, with I'm going to be on TV, so of course it was a little more pressure inducing. But in a sense, like, I mean, we just went to our locker room, we got changed, we went over everything, and it was just kind of like, I mean, besides the TV cameras, this is just another show. I mean, as you said earlier, it's like you only got this one shot. It's no different than wrestling here in West Virginia in front of 20 people. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And I did see you on TV. I did. Uh, look, look real good. Looked great out there.
thank you.
So I'm joined with Kolbe Max, one half of Chemical X. Um, Definitely making a name for herself. Very young into her career. Definitely have a bright future, and she's definitely going to move on to more things. With that being said, um, you got any future goals as far as more shows, more opportunities? What does Kobe Max want to accomplish more of down the road?
Well, I want to add more crowns to the Queen Killjoys collection. Of course, hopefully get more titles. And I am my goal by the time I am 21 or 22 is to possibly be signed to a major company. Will that happen? I'm not sure, but it is a goal. I definitely want to wrestle at WrestleCade again this year. That was amazing, getting to do it last year, especially with the 12 hours notice. Um, but yeah, just I want to go on new adventures. I definitely want to get out of the country even. I would love to do that. For some reason, I want to wrestle in Ireland so bad. Or just in the UK. The crowds there seem amazing. And just continue to make my way up, I guess, whether it be with Judy, whether it would be with any of my other tag team partners. It's I just hope that one day I get signed to a major company.
I could definitely see you wrestling Ireland. You got the island appeal per se, and the crowd out there is something else. It's very, very energetic, and just sometimes they'll catch you off guard. It's depending on who your opponent is and things like that. But they quite the crowd. Very, very intriguing crowd for sure. Um, so you mentioned you got a show coming up this weekend. Um, so go ahead and promote more shows. Where can they catch Kobe Max in the coming weeks?
Well, almost anywhere throughout West Virginia, especially in the Kanawha County slash within that whole area. I was recently at AIWF in North Carolina. I hope to get back there soon. Where else? I love going to Tennessee. Tennessee crowds are awesome. And that's where, as I said, I'm going there on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to that. I have been to Indiana, and I hope to get there again. I also hope to get up to Ohio soon. I have multiple friends up there, and hopefully they can help me out. And then, I don't know, the sky's the limit. Promoters out there, I would love to come work for you, especially if you're in Texas. I have a family member out in Texas that would like to come see me work. So,
It's
and I would
interesting.
love to go out to the West Coast and Las Vegas, California.
It's interesting you say Texas because I do recall a certain event happening in the state of Texas in a couple of weeks. And there's going to be a lot of events happening in the days leading up to a certain events. So all the Texans wrestling shows that may have a show here and there on that particular weekend, she just put her heart and soul out there. Like, I'm ready. Um, Give me the day, the time.
I can even bring a tag team partner.
And she got friends. Yes, she's got a friend that will be more than happy to join her. It could be Chemical S, it could be her tag team partners go head to head. She ready. So Texas Wrestling Promotions, you know what you need to do. Um, Go ahead and social media sites and the book and email as well.
Well, my social medias, my Facebook is just Kolbe Max, KOLBEMAX. My Twitter and Instagram is the Kolbe Max. And then my work email is kmxwrestling@gmail.com.
Yeah, so go Booker. And I live here in Kentucky. So yeah, to all my Kentucky friends, yeah, book her too.
I have my
Um,
Kentucky license.
and she got her Kentucky license. So yeah, just saying, you know, I need to see Chemical X. I know and Kobe availability. She's ready. She's ready. So great having you on, Kobe. Appreciate you being on, and I'll definitely look forward to see what's next on the horizon for you. You and Judy definitely have a bright future, and again, thank you for your time. Continued success,
Thank you.
and I look forward to seeing more of you on that TV screen too. That is one of your goals after all. So I definitely see you on that TV screen in the next year or two. I'm manifesting it right now as we speak. So thank you, Kobe. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, you too.
All right. That was Kobe Max, one half of Chemical X, doing her pose. And there we go.